volunteer to do that, please?
I will do, sir, the
Okay.
checking of the attendance.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Just email me and copy your other classmates as well. So, guys, teammate, I check your code. Okay, so I am not going into the coding standards because I noticed that so many places while you were writing a code, you use
Sir, one moment, sir. Hi, team. Are you part of Team Alpha? Team Ward, are you part of Team Alpha?
I'm sorry, sir. I am Armicheline. I am just using my...
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Sir Goshan, please proceed.
Okay, so guys, I spent time checking your code. So when we talk about industrial standards, it does not meet the requirement. You are using the variables without putting any comment. What is this variable for? So if I am a newbie or I am a first time reading your code, it's very hard for me to look where this variable is defined, what is the purpose and how you are going to use the variable. That is one. Secondly, you use the variable supposedly which should be used locally, but you define it globally. And the variable which could be defined globally, because you are going to use it at a multi instances, you are defining it locally and then you are redefining it at another location for the same thing. So these are the technical things I noticed. But apart from that, the biggest issue what I also noticed, you all requested for an extension. I promised to give you 1 week extension, but instead of that I gave you 2 week extension, right? Now, if you are working on this project solo, means everyone is writing their own code, I will accept this, okay, meets the standard. But how many of you are working on this project? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Almost 10, even more.
Yes, sir.
Now, if a team of 12 developers, 13 developers are working on a project with 1 month, 2 month timeline, do you think the product is up to that mark? Question is to you guys.
Sir, I think it also plays among the level of proficiency among all the members of the team as well. I mean, we came from different backgrounds, so I think we also need to adjust. I think if a team of 12 proficient programmers are given this task, there's no doubt the output will be far ahead of what we have right now. But yeah, I think from what we have in this project, we also need to adjust based on the capacity of everyone.
Okay. I partially agree and partially disagree, Angelito, on this part. I understand in this class there are people coming from a different background, right? I also understand not all of them may be at the same technical level. Okay. But while you are working as a team, so it's always do and die, right? And it is always swim and sink together. You all are into one boat. You know, this is why in the last call I asked you very clearly, if any one of your team member is not performing as per expectation, inform me immediately. That was my clear instruction from the day one. And I am not expecting those people who are not technical are not writing code. Sorry, this is not my expectation. Everyone should be writing code because this is a class where you are going to learn how to code. So if you are a team of 15 and out of 15, 10 are doing the documentation and only 5 is writing a code, this is a situation you will always end up. You are trying to cover up for others, okay, but at what cost? At the cost of your own grades. So if instead of fishing for them, you could have taught them how to fish, how to write code, you could push them to write code, you would be in a much better position. This is my take. I hope you guys agree on this.
Yes, sir. Personally, I agree. I think in a certain level, we also were able to achieve that because there are some members which are really have little background when it comes to programming. So in some activities, we were able to teach them, but again, given the scope of the project, what is required, I think yeah, it's also helpful that they gave us time. But I think a project of this scope requires really I mean quite a while for everyone to get used to.
Okay. I'll just share one my experience. The project I gave you, I developed this project as a prototype by using Hadoop and artificial intelligence. And I was the only developer. There was no one. I myself did a coding, and it took me 11 days, 4 hours per day. Then testing and all those things, I completed the whole project in less than 100 man hours. So based on the experience, the amount of code it may need, the amount of effort it may need, I know very well how much time and effort it should take. But if I cumulated count your hours you have spent all in all together, it's far behind. I understand maybe there is a learning curve or steep learning curve for few, but still the suggestion here is, guys, because I'm not like the other teachers, other professors who will just go with the theory. Okay, read HTML, read JavaScript, and give the answers and write a paper. If I will do that, most of you may be very good in cramming. They may get a good grades. But when you will step out from university and you apply for a job and you are asked to do, because the expectation will be you are a developer, then what will you do? Right? In the market, when you go out in the market, when you are working as a professional, you may have a choice to join a company. I want to work with this company, yes or no. That choice is with you. But once you are a part of a company, who you will be working with, who will be your team member, this is beyond your control. So this group exercise also teaches you one important lesson in life. You are working with different personalities, different people, different challenges, how you deal with that. Because end of the day, if you are not able to deliver a project on time, as per expectation, with a good quality, it's not only you who is to be blamed, it's the whole team. Right?
Yes, sir.
I also noticed the important features were lacking. I tried to install the application. There were some issues I encountered. There were many parts which were not clear. Who will do the authorizations and all those things? How we are going to set up, how we are going to pay by a card. Means end to end, I was not able to complete one cycle. So this is what we should do, okay? Whatever has happened, happened. I don't want all of you to fail the class, so I'll give you one more opportunity. We have finals upcoming, right? You guys still have time. Couple of you guys can develop a small video demonstrating end-to-end working of your application. like in a real scenario, how someone is going to work with the screenshots, with the video. Okay, I'm going to log in and all those things. And the other people fix the errors. I'm not saying go and change the variables and all, because that is going to be a big change. You can make a note of those changes for future. When you are writing a code, define the variables in the beginning. So this is just a tip and advice from my side. But most of you needs to check the functionality. Application should not have error. Do the proper exception handling. Catch all the errors. This is missing. I tried to insert some junk data and all, and there were many occasions I could see the errors. The application is not capturing all the errors. This is bad. So I will send you the dates for final. You need to submit the same project with revision and one YouTube video which demonstrate how your application can be used end to end. Like you are like a teaching guide. Okay, log in here, do this, you will see this and everything. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now floor is to you guys. Ask whatever you want to ask. You still have 40 minutes. Are you able to solve the GPS issue with the plugin? The geolocation you are getting with the plugin, or it's still HTML?
Sir, Will is not in the call. He was the one who looked into that. But according to previous meetings with him, he mentioned that upon research, this PhoneGap plugin internally also uses HTML.
No. Incorrect.
Uh-huh.
Because I had doubts. That's why I just wanted it to hear directly from you. Because my instructions were very clear. With HTML, location you are going to get, it is based on the IP address, which may or may not be precise. But while you are on the road, you are out, you need location accuracy up to 5 meters, which can only be provided by GPS.
Do you have comments with that, Anne?
Yeah, please check it. If it is there, very good. If it is not there, it should be there. What else?
So, sir, are you going to give us like a detailed requirements of what you are expecting for us to deliver?
Yeah, I gave guys. How many of you use Uber or Grab? How many of you use? I believe all of you. In your lifetime, you must have, or you may have used, right?
Yes, because
So-
just personally, because I think what we have implemented basically does what the requirement is asking. It's just that I think some of the instructions aren't that clear that you have
Okay,
encountered.
so Angelito, this is not the time, because guys, all of you take this important lesson in your life while you are doing a software development. If it is not clear, don't assume, ask. This is a very important lesson you should learn in your life while you are developing a software for you, for anyone else, for your company. If something is not clear to you, ask. Don't assume. Client expectations may be different from your assumptions you are making. So if you had any questions, the requirement was not clear, I will consider it as an excuses after 2 months. None of you try to reach out to me. None of you drop a mail, call me. We have these questions. And when there is a delivery time, you requested an extension. I gave you extension. And then you come back and say, requirements were not clear. Do you think I'm going to buy that? So consider it as a lesson. Now going back to the requirement, when I gave a requirement, I clearly mentioned this is high level. Expectation is Grab and Uber, that type of application. And I also noted down there, imagination, look forward. What is missing? My expectation from there was, when I am looking for imagination, if you are using Grab, if you are using Uber or any other application similar, and there are certain features which you feel should be there and are lacking, that could come as a part of your report, because that's where the imagination comes. Oh, this feature is missing. We could have this feature additional. What is missing there? But maybe with a time constraint you were not able to develop. Makes sense. But at least it's a part of your report. But none of you unleashed your imagination. What can be done? Even you are not close. What is already there? Existing. Okay. Lloyd wants to say something?
Uh, for the final exam, we will be able to produce a very detailed usage of the application. So,
Okay.
and we will be able to also.
Okay, take it like this. If I'm going to launch this application in the market, are we ready?
No.
Are we ready? Simple question. With whatever features you have, do you think can someone use this application as in the current state? None? No answer? What should I consider? I don't want to assume yes or no. So I'm just asking you again. Do you think, are we ready? Lloyd, Zoilo, and Nixon, anyone?
For me, sir, it's partially yes, partially no. Because that's because web development in its phase, I think we should not fit right. And I think really no, because seeing cheaper black functionalities, we can say that I can say it's in my opinion. The to produce the app, since you find sir some functionalities that can sound error that been there in the first place. So for 50-50,
Lloyd, you are breaking up. I cannot hear you. I'm not sure my internet or others also have the same problem.
yes, sir. Actually, the show here is quite low in signal because school is in the middle of forest. We don't have a signal here.
Okay, so I'll ask maybe someone who have a good signal to take the lead on this.
Sir, this is Anne.
Yes,
So,
Anne.
Okay. So the application is composed of the web application, which is on the admin side and on the mobile side. Well, I think I'm part of the mobile side, so I think on the web side, it's working
Mm-hmm.
already.
Yes.
On the mobile side, the the cycle that you've mentioned before is the simple scenario is working when you log in
Sign
as
up.
passenger, and then it is now sends a notification to the driver side, and now the driver can start the trip, and end the trip, and so I can say that the simple scenarios is now working. um I guess one of our the one of the things that we missed is that we didn't clearly send to you the instruction on how to demo the app,
that
on
is-
how
yes.
it should be.
There.
I guess that's one of the things that
Okay. And take it like this. Someone need to mute the. Okay. It's like this. The simple app is working. But when we talk about the software development industry, there is always a room for improvement, right? The instructions you will send me, that's why I requested for a video how it can be used. Now if the class will go back maybe 2 months back, and now where you stand right now, you will be able to see a much or a bigger difference what you have learned in these 2-3 months. I'm sure most of you have never developed any mobile app, and this was your first time for mobile development. Yes, no.
personally,
Yes, yes.
it's my first
Yes,
time
sir.
on that.
Hello.
Yes,
Our
this is
first.
first
First
time.
time. Okay, so I'm sure if this is the first time, you must have enjoyed. There is a learning curve, but at least now you know what you are capable. To develop a mobile app, I could easily go with Java, but that's again a new learning curve because Java is much difficult than writing HTML and PHP. If you develop the app in Java, you are only restricted to compile for Android. Otherwise, you use XStudio for iOS. But the approach, what I suggested you and you followed, you can compile your app already for Windows, for mobile, and for Android. Did you try to compile in other operating system?
With phone.dev,
Yes.
the APK that it creates is for Windows Phone and for Android, but iOS is not included.
Okay, it's okay. I'm not saying because iOS was not a part of the requirement, but I am just telling you, it's also possible. You don't need to write a separate code. You can compile in iOS version as well. So your application is now compatible with iPhone as well. It saves so much of time and effort. That's one thing. With the new approach or with this exercise, you must have learned how to use the push notification because all of us get the notifications frequently. So that is one learning you may have learned. And another learning which
Yes, Mr. So regarding the push notification, we also included using OneSignal. So part of our mobile app right now is that when a passenger requests for a trip and it's assigned to a driver, on the driver's side, the driver will be receive a notification that it was assigned a trip. So we also integrated that in our app.
okay, quick question. If I am a passenger I requested I want to go from location A to location B, right? Who will assign me a driver?
So there are two ways that the trip will be assigned. First, it's automated, and second one is that it's manual. So
Mhm.
upon the request of the passenger, there's an algorithm that the web team had created where they look for the
Nearest.
driver which is within the range
Mhm.
or near the passenger, and then it automatically assigns the passenger trip to the driver. If no driver is available, there needs to be an intervention in the admin side to manually assign it
Mhm.
to a driver.
Okay. So it means you are auto assigning a driver. You are or driver don't have a choice whether to accept or reject.
Yes.
Okay. Because in the
There's an option, sir, to accept and reject.
okay, so let's say you are a passenger, you want to go from A to B. Now, when you want to go from A to B, you click a button, send
Yes.
a request. When you send a request, how the driver is being notified? Like there is a passenger who wants to go from A to B, accept or reject. Push
Push. One signal.
one signal. So we are using push. Okay, but in real world scenario, if you will take this application to live, this approach is wrong. For this exercise purposes, this is okay. I will not go for any deduction. Okay, you use push because I did not included node as a part. What you need is a single thread concept like a node.js,
No.
one thread which sends the notification to all the available drivers. Now, how do you know what is my device ID so you can send a notification only to me, not to the others? How you are doing this? What is your logic?
Hi sir, this is Brian. I've worked with the One Signal.
Mm-hmm.
There was part of One Signal API wherein you can get the player ID of each device.
Okay, so but you can only get player ID once while you are installing one signal.
That's correct, sir.
You cannot get it after that. So that's what my question was. Where are you saving the player ID when someone is registering an account or installing an app? At the same time, you are saving what time? Registering the app or saving the how you are managing player ID in database?
Well, since we had the app just one for both passenger and driver, what we did
Mm-hmm.
was automatically the player ID for passengers would be the default value, but for the drivers we put a value of 2 so that it can be distinguished. But for your question, sir, it's upon login of the driver, that's when it will be distinguished if it's a driver or not.
Okay. So now I see a problem here. Player ID is device specific. Is it correct?
That's correct, sir.
That's correct. Now, if I am using the application and I log in with my name, Gulshan, and tomorrow I log in with my different user ID, which means my device will not get the message. Possible?
Yes, I see, sir, your point.
Because you are using the player ID. That's why I wanted to go into the technicalities because you might have missed that part. So Mhm.
Another thing, sir, when we send this one signal notifications using the one signal API, we are sending data as part of the payload, and the data actually contains which driver
Wait lang.
ID this notification is intended for. So it is actually in the part of mobile to actually make another layer of filtering.
Okay. Okay. So you are sending a notification to all the drivers. Now, the payload already have a details of a passengers and all those things, and vice versa. And your mobile application have a logic to pick or assign or to correlate which one will it be used. Is it correct? Okay, let me rephrase.
Hi, Ad.
Let me rephrase the question. If I am a driver, right, and I received a notification passenger A, location A to B, and I click accept, then you will send back a notification to all the passengers. This driver has accepted, or how the notification will come back only to me. Okay, driver has accepted your request and driver is en route.
Okay, so as Angelito have mentioned, the one signal message contains the payload data, which includes the driver ID or the passenger ID. So that is how we verify if we should show the needed functions. So for example, when a device receives a notification, it first checks if the driver ID matches his, and then if it needs to show a next page or actions. So that is how the validation is being done.
Okay, now I am lost. Sorry, and I'm a passenger. Okay, I want to go from A to B. I put my location and I click send request. When I click send request, a notification will be sent to all the drivers. Correct?
Yes.
Passenger A wants to go from location A to location B. Accept or reject. Now there are three drivers. Driver B click accept. When driver B click accept, a notification should come back to me. What I understood, your player ID is fixed for all the passengers, which means the notification will go back to all the passengers. How the only one passenger will receive the notification? If my ride is accepted by driver B, I should be notified driver B is en route. The vehicle number is so and so. So how this logic is working?
So currently,
You may not have faced this challenge because if you are using only two devices, you will not encounter the scenario I am talking about. If you are using more than two devices, when there are three drivers, one passenger A sent a request, driver B accepted. When driver B will accept, the notification will go to all passengers. Let's say there are 5 passengers. Then how the right passenger will receive a notification, driver B will pick you.
So currently, since all devices receives the notification, we base the next action based on the data that the payload returned.
Okay.
So that is
Yes, sir. It works both for drivers and passengers.
So
So
what
even
do
if
you?
the driver accepts and technically sends a multitask to all passengers, only those intended passenger or only the intended passenger will be able to see the notification.
Okay. Now this is one part. The part of the application we discussed last time as well. Now you will show me the driver location, right?
Yes, we have
If I,
that in
if I,
the
you
map.
have already. Now, how you are refreshing the driver location with a timer? Let's say driver is 10 minutes away. He is 5 kilometers away from my location. He is coming to pick me and I can see his location. So how you are updating his location on user mobile device?
So upon the login of the driver, it now automatically, using a timer, it sends its current location to the server.
Timer. You are using timer?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the frequency?
5 seconds.
Web worker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
I
update
think
data
the default frequency of the web worker that Anne made is 5 seconds.
5 seconds. So web worker is sending the update directly to the device, or web worker is sending update to a database and database is sending to a device of the passenger.
It is sending to a database because how we design the architecture, there's this central entity for
Mhm.
both web applications and the mobile devices to access.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm assuming if driver is on the way to pick up passenger, you are sending driver location after every 5 seconds to database. And then passenger screen is also refreshed after every 5 seconds and you are fetching the information from database where is the driver current location. Correct? Is it correct? The logic, I'm just trying to understand the logic you have used. Guys, yes, no? Is it, my understanding is correct?
With regards to the passenger mobile app, I think Anne could shed more light.
Um, I I guess the current location of the driver is displayed on the admin side,
Nah.
on the web application.
So if I am a passenger, how can I see the current location of a driver? Where is the driver? Is he coming near me or is he going in the opposite direction? Because when I book the Uber or Grab, I know driver is 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And if I see driver is taking a wrong turn, I call him immediately. So how you are managing? I just want to understand that part.
Wala.
With regards to the passenger mobile app, I'm not quite sure, but yes, as Anne mentioned, in the in the web portal, for the admin side, we have the map there to actually check where the vehicles are currently located.
Okay, so guys, this is also one of the gap I see here. In the group, we are 12, 13, 15 people, but you are only updated with your own module. In the finals, when I will be having a discussion, each of you will be on the floor and the questions will come, will come. You cannot say, I don't know this logic, this was done by him. The objective is you should know in and out what is happening, why it is happening, and how this is happening. So that's the expectation. Now, going back to your logic, what I'm trying to understand, when the driver accept, then you send the driver location to database after every 5 seconds, correct?
Yes. So
Then if I'm a passenger, I can see the driver location from the database and my screen refresh after every 5 seconds. So I can see the updated location of a driver. Is it correct?
No.
currently, the only way to see the updated location of the driver is through the web.
Okay, so but that should be in the passenger side as well. So please look into that. Although this is just a workaround, or I will call it a dirty workaround, we are doing to share the location of one person to another. The drawbacks: if the driver is, let's say, 10 minutes away, okay, so in 10 minutes and your interval is 5 seconds, so in 1 minute you will save 12 entry into a database. You will update database 12 times for 1 minute. This is your data in. Now multiplied by 10, it becomes 120 data hits. Now on the other side, user is also fetching the information. Same 120. It becomes 240 in and out your database IO just to share the location, and which is also not real time because there is a gap of 5 seconds, there is a latency there. Now the question comes, this is the way we are trying to do. How others do that? Do you think all these companies, the location sharing, you talk about Google location share, you talk about Glimpse, you talk about Grab, Uber, they do the same way? No. They use socket. Socket means there is a thread between the device of a driver connecting to a server, and the same thread is connecting to a passenger. No database hit in and out. If the driver will move 1 meter, it will immediately reflect on the screen of a user 1 meter. You don't need to save into a database and fetch from a database. This is called socket programming. Previously it was complicated. Now with the help of Node.js, you just need to write a simple JavaScript. You need to set up a node server and it can be easily implemented. Although not a part of your requirement, but I'm just telling you, in future, if you still want to continue on this project or want to improve, that should be your direction. Clear?
Yes, sir.
We can take that, sir, on the future development.
Yeah, you can do, that's a part of your learning. I don't want the learning should stop here when you pass this subject. Whatever you have learned, the one signal, the locations, the sharing, the mobile app, you should be able to use it in your life. Maybe for your company, maybe for your friends, maybe you develop something else. That's the objective. So with this, I will set the date for a final. The floor will be to you guys. You show me end to end, and each and every one of you will be on the floor. And I will take your final grade as your final grade. I will disregard the midterm, because if I will give the grades to this midterm, you will definitely have a very low grades. So let's work. Try to improve your application, prepare, and then we'll discuss this on final day. If you have any questions, you still have 6 minutes to ask.
So apart, sir, from the YouTube video, there will be another presentation from us.
No. The intention of a video is, if I am a new person, I don't know how to install your application, how to use your application, how to log in, how to create account, how to enroll a driver, I don't know. But if there is a quick 5 minutes, 6 minutes video I can watch, okay, this is how it works. And in the video, you are also showing the capacity. Yes, the application is really working. You are sharing the screen. Okay, this is my screen. This is what I'm doing. So it's like you have a product now. The purpose of a video is now how you will sell your product. That's also very important for the development team. Being a IT head of a company, and when we are managing the multi-country and the team develops something and they are not able to sell, it's useless. It's a useless product. So if you have developed something, you should know how to sell it as well. So that's where the video comes in. Okay.
Okay. So, I suppose that will be submitted ahead of the final presentation.
Mm-hmm. You can submit a day before. I will put up a bin. You can paste a link there so that at least I'm able to view the link. In the final bin, you need to upload all your codes and everything. I will try to find a server. If I'm able to arrange a server, a test server, then I will give that to you. You need to set up your whole application on that server for testing purposes, where we can see how it is working. Okay.
Sir, to verify, the server that we're going to set up, I assume is that where we're going to deploy?
Yes, because that's also again one of the biggest challenge in IT world. Developer develops. When it is going for a deployment, it's a failure. Why? Developer will always come and say, oh, it is working in my machine. But do you think the client think that way as well? And client will accept it's working in his machine, there is no problem. Client will always expect it is working in his or her environment. So they don't care about it's working on the developer machine or not. They care about it is working in the production environment or not. So that's also a part of the exercise, because this will also teaches you new environment, how to cope up with those challenges. Because while you are setting up your machine, it's working on your machine, you are comfortable. You have all the libraries, everything is installed. But when it goes to a production environment, you are setting up a server. Being a developer, you are responsible to tell this library needs to be installed, this should be there, this should be there, configure everything and make it work on that environment. I will try. If I'm not able to find a server, then I'll go with your environment. If I'm able to find a server, then I'll share the details with you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we are good.
Yes.
Okay. How about the others? I did not hear any comment, suggestion, questions except hi and hello from so many. Riza, Pauline, Nolan, Jemai, King, Nixon, nothing. What should I assume? No contribution?
Hello, sir.
No, hello is okay. I can also say hello to you as well. But I'm talking about the part of a technical discussion.
I just want to ask, sir, regarding with the applications that we're going to use on the, as what you mentioned a while ago, which is the thread or what you call the socket programming.
Mm-hmm.
And
Socket, you may not have a time to set up the web socket or a socket server. Easiest way is Node.js. You can use Firebase as well. Firebase is a Google database, NoSQL kind of database. It's also real time. But anyways, guys, now it's 9 o'clock. I need to go with Team Beta. Have a nice day.
Bye, sir. Thank you.